early hymns that I memorized as a young person, and I love it. And I've been having fun singing it during this month as we've been doing Charles Wesley hymns, because that is one of the Charles Wesley hymns. So it's a pretty neat one. How are you guys doing? You enjoying the fall? The weather has changed. What's that? You're sleepy. Well, what's that? Okay, very good. Yeah, there are ways to deal with the sleepy part, and usually going to sleep is one of them. Anyway, so I don't know if you were up a little late or what, but it happens. Sometimes I get sleepy too. So, school's going well? Just checking. School's good. Okay. One of the things I always said with my kids was school is cool. Can you guys say that with me? School is cool. Yeah. You guys aren't very talkative today. That's all right. Okay. So I have a story for you today that is a story that Jesus told. And some of Jesus' stories were kind of weird. In fact, like the main character in this story is somebody that really you wouldn't really be too happy with. He was a manager, a business manager for a rich guy, and he was somebody who took advantage of the customers or took advantage of his boss and did all kinds of things that you really shouldn't do if you're managing somebody else's money. But he's the hero of the story. So it's not one of the many weird stories Jesus told. You ready for it? Okay? So here's what happens. The owner, the rich guy, the owner said he knows there's something going wrong with all the records this guy is keeping. And so he says to him, guess what? I'm going to fire you. You've got 2 days to bring me all the books. That was a mistake. Because the guy says to himself, what am I going to do after he fires me? I don't have the strength to work with my hands and go out and dig ditches. And I'm too proud to go out and beg. I know what I'll do. I'm going to take full use of these next couple days. So he sits down with the people who owe his boss money. And he says, now, how much do you owe my boss? And the first guy says, I owe $1 million. Can you say that for me? Okay, we're too sleepy. So he owes $1 million. And you know what the manager says? He says, let me do a little bit of paperwork. They get out some paperwork, and he says, here, sign here. You don't owe him $1 million. You only owe him half that. What do you think? They shook hands on that one, don't you think? It's like, that was all right. Okay. And then he goes to the next person, and he says, how much do you owe my boss? He says, I owe him $2 million. Well, that's what the paperwork says. Here, let's do a little bit of paperwork here. We'll sit down here. You sign here. You only owe him half of that. And then, boy, they shook hands on that one too. What do you think? That's a pretty good deal. Because he said to himself, I'm going to use the boss's money to open doors for me for my future. So maybe I'll have a place to live or a place to work for somebody else because I gave away some of my boss's money. Do you think the boss was happy about that? You know, I don't think he was either, but it's interesting. In the story, the boss says, you know, you were pretty smart about how you did that. And then Jesus says, you, as my people, need to be pretty smart about how you do stuff too. Because all the stuff you have, guess whose it is? It isn't yours. It belongs to God. And can you do stuff with God's money and God's stuff that God has given you so that it does something really great for you, for your future? Big question, Jesus asked. Interesting story. Will you guys pray with me? I want to invite you to repeat after me. Dear Jesus, thank you for your strange stories. Help us follow you in everything we do. Amen. Amen. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, we have worksheets for you. You have a question for me?